Greetings everyone, and welcome back to the channel for another retro 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. And today we're going to be taking a look at something rather special. It's the Hot Toys Tron Legacy Sam Flynn with Light Cycle. Those eagle-eyed amongst you, those subscribers to the channel who've seen my tour video, will have probably spotted this figure in my collection. Had it a while. Bit of a grail piece for me, this one. But before we get into that, just a little bit about the film itself. I think the original Tron was released back in 1982 and sort of held a bit of a record. There was a bit notorious because it was probably the most CGI heavy film there'd been up until that point, and broke a lot of boundaries. Dated, yes, by today's standards, but cutting edge back in the day. That was followed up back in 2010 with Tron Legacy, which is what this figure comes from. The original film starred Jeff Bridges as Kevin Flynn, a games designer who was sucked into a virtual world where he needed to do battle with the bad guys and the programs in order to save the world. I think Bruce Boxleitner played the eponymous Tron, David Warner the bad guy. And then the sequel came along in 2010. That was Tron Legacy, where you had Garrett Hedlund, who played Sam Flynn, Kevin Flynn's son, who once again ends up inside the virtual world doing battle with the bad guys. And that's where this figure comes from. Very famous for its light cycles, very famous for its visual effects and its CGI. I have to say, as far as films go, the two Tron films are probably not my favourite for plot and so on, but they hold a special place in my heart simply because of the style. It's the style more than the substance of the Tron films that really appeals to me. It's the look, especially in Tron Legacy, where they'd refined the light cycles, the vehicles, the world itself, the way it looked. It was. If you've never seen the film, I do suggest seeking it out. Both films are by Disney, and they look superb, even the older one. And we've got another film coming, I believe. We've got Tron 3. I think it's called Tron Ares, which has actually gone into production after sitting in production hell for a number of years. And we've got Jared Leto, I believe, slated to play the lead in that, or at least one of the roles in that. So I'm looking forward to that, because these films almost, because of the distance between the sequels, almost act as a benchmark for how CGI has improved in the movies throughout the years. But yeah, that's enough of me wobbling on about the films themselves. The figure, the light cycle and the figure, were a grail piece for me from when I first started collecting. They've always been on my radar, but it took me some time to hunt one down. These figures can, brand new, you're talking four figure sums here, selling a kidney on eBay or remortgaging the house just to afford one. And they pre-owned ones can fetch ridiculous figures as well. But patience was my friend with this one, and I waited and eventually managed to pick this one up from a fellow collector. As I say, at a price that didn't mean remortgaging the house or selling my firstborn. So, as always, what we'll do is we'll take a look at the box. The format will be slightly different in this video. Normally, we'd dive down onto the table and look at all the accessories that you get with the figure. But because of the nature of the figure, there aren't that many accessories. So what we'll do is we'll follow a slightly different format. What we'll do is we'll take a look at the box, then we'll get the whole shooting match out itself, get it on the turntable, have a look around it, maybe do a little showcase, and then get it into the detail and see how it displays and wrap the whole thing up. So yeah, the box, and a big box it is too. I am sat in a separate county here trying to film this. The sheer size of this box, obviously, because of the bike itself. The figure itself is actually, and I call it a figure. I mean, it's probably good, fair to say at this point, it's not really technically an action figure, although it does have a couple of joints in the shoulders. It's very much a static figure to fit on the bike, but the bike itself, the figure itself, is in a prone position and takes up pretty much this top third of the box, and then the rest of the box is taken up by this this wonderful light cycle. But yeah, very simple box, very big box. You've got this profile picture of the light cycle itself. It says Tron Legacy down here at the bottom, Sam Flynn with light cycle, and the usual Hot Toys emblems in either corner there. Very, very simple design, very, very bold design. That blue, that black, that white that we know from Tron. I'm going to try and spin this round on camera. Bear with me if we struggle here. It is a huge box. It's that big. It's got a handle on the top. But if we bring it round, it's relatively simple. It's just the light beam that the light cycle leaves behind it, and that appears on both sides of the box itself. On the top, it just says Tron, light cycled Sam Flynn, and I believe that's repeated on the bottom. Let's just spin it round without knocking anything over, and yeah, very, very simple. It's just that light beam again continued on the back. At the bottom there, we've got all the credits. No warnings on this, just a full list of all the credits there. I think there may be some warnings at the bottom. If there was a warning at the bottom, it would say, be very, very careful with this figure. If you piss it off, you'll get Derezzed. Something along those lines. But yeah, that's the box. So without further ado, what we'll do next, as I said, is we'll bring everything out, get it onto the turntable, and find out if this grail, personal grail piece has stood the test of time. So yeah, let's move on to the main event. Okay, so here he is, the Hot Toys, Kevin Flynn on the light cycle and onto the turntable. And normally I would give first impressions, but this is a retro review and I've had this figure a while. But I've got to say, even today, and as old as it is, this figure never ceases to impress me. This vehicle never ceases to impress me. I think this was made back in 2012, this figure. So for what we're talking, an 11-year-old figure, I still am stunned by it. It takes my breath away. We're going to take a slightly different format, as I mentioned in the previous section, because of the nature of this. Because it's not technically an action figure, although the figure is separate to the bike itself. We'll take a quick look at the bike now, and then what we'll do is we'll dive down into all the bits and pieces as well. We'll have a quick look at the accessories as well now. There are two heads. The first head is the helmeted one that you can see on the bike as it spins around. The second one I'll bring in is an unhelmeted head, and we'll take a quick look at this one. We'll show you how these change, how you change these out when we get him off the turntable, get the bike off the turntable. But yeah, apologies if the light isn't brilliant here. I'm trying to keep the light on the bike and on and on the head sculpt itself, which is no easy feat. But yeah, this is an excellent head sculpt. That's all I can say. If you've seen the film, if you know the actor, you know this is a very, very good head sculpt. For an 11-year-old head sculpt, it is, I think it's Hot Toys showing what they can do. The skin texturing is excellent. The hair is absolutely spot on. The likeness of the actor is uncanny. It's very, very good. The paint applications are wonderful. Yeah, the individual hair strands. Yeah, it's absolutely spot on. I cannot fault this head sculpt, from the glassiness of the eyes to the paint applications to the sculpt itself. Just top notch, absolutely top notch, as is the head sculpt within the helmet as well. I'm assuming they've used the same head sculpt there and just shaved down the hair so they can get the helmet on. But yeah, that's the second head sculpt. I don't use this head sculpt on the bike itself, simply because I prefer the helmeted look. I can't really see why he would be riding the light cycle without the helmet on, because it's all part of the process of actually getting on board the bike. If you know the film, it comes from a bar that they, almost like a handlebar that they throw down, then everything else is built around them. But yeah, it's there if you want it. If you want to display it without the helmet on, you've got that option, and an excellent head sculpt it is too. So we'll put that to one side. You also get, which it probably will seem a little unusual at this point, but all will become clear as we get up close and personal with the bike itself is a spare leg. Now, as you probably noticed, the figure has two legs, obviously, but they're actually on the mounted on the back here, where these footstops are. This is if you want to pose the bike not in motion, i.e. it's propped up. So it will fit into a joint there, and then the bike will lean over and rest on this leg. It's got a jack plug in there for all the for its party piece, for the wonderful light up effects, for what would a light cycle be without multiple lights. But yeah, the leg is not articulated. There's no articulation in there. The jack plug simply carries electricity down to the LEDs, which run all the way down to the boot. The sculpting's nice. Paintwork is not. There's not really that much paintwork to cover here, simply because it's the suit itself was a matte black, although it has this nice texturing here. The sculpting's nice, very, very screen accurate all the way down to the boots, and you've got these the soles of the boots are sculpted as well. But yeah, screen accurate and very, very effective, just plain matte black with some nice sort of different textures in there as well. But yeah, that's the alternate leg. As I say, I don't use this leg, and the same way I don't use the alternate head sculpt particularly, because for me, the light cycle should look like it's in motion, and having it stationary, being propped up by one leg, sort of defeats the object for me. But it's there if you want to mix up your posing, you want to change it up after you've had it in a particular format for a while. The options there. So we'll put that leg to one side. There's a few other little bits and pieces you get. Obligatory replacement wrist pegs, always handy, still in the bag there, which is a good sign for a figure this age that the wrist pegs haven't broken. What else do you get? One spare hand. There are two on the figure itself for gripping the handlebars. Let's just have a quick look. The sculpt's relatively simplistic here. I'm not sure whether the light's picking this up. You've got some texturing on the glove inside. The only part of the glove, the hands that are covered by the glove are the finger, well, the forefinger and the thumb are covered, and then you've got this little hook on the on the pinky finger, which is screen accurate. Sculpt's good. Paintwork's good. Is it the best Hot Toys I've seen from Hot Toys? Probably not, but for the time, it's very, very good indeed, and it most certainly has stood up well. So, yeah, that's the one spare hand, and the reason for the one spare hand is the spare disc. Now, you can pose this once again. This disc is designed to fit into the hand, and then We'll get into the actual articulation of the figure, as I say, when we stop the turntable from spinning. But the shoulders are articulated, so you can actually have him gripping this disc and it touching the floor. There is a sequence in the film, I'm sure those people who've seen the film will remember, where he's riding along, about to attack, and he's actually dragging the disc almost on the ground as he rides over it. But yeah, that's a posing option as well if you want to do it. There's also another disc on the back, but we'll get to that when we stop this turntable spinning. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a quick cut, because there's some moving parts on this that need to be freed up, so we can take a closer look at how the whole thing fits together. So yeah, quick cut, and we'll be back shortly. Okay, so we've stopped him spinning on the turntable, and we've opened up all the moving parts on the bike itself. These are designed so that you can take the figure on and off. Now, it took me so long to get this figure onto the bike and into this position that I'm not going to take him off for the purposes of this review, because it will take me 3 weeks to get him back on in the position. It is fiddly. It is very, very fiddly. But we'll take a look at all the bits and pieces. But before we do that, it's a dust magnet. It's a fingerprint magnet. It's got this high gloss paintwork on all the visible areas, apart from the figure itself. The bike itself, apart from the inside of the wheels, obviously, has got this high gloss paintwork on it, and it is a complete dust magnet and fingerprint magnet. If the camera's picking anything up, I apologise. I did clean it prior to this review, but literally looking at it, we'll put marks on it. where to begin. Let's start with these wheels at the front. Now, these wheels actually do move. I've got to be careful here because it'll probably fall off the turntable, but they do move. Take my word for it, they do move. They are rubber. They do move, both at the front and the back. If I can get this into camera, it's actually the centre of the wheel that moves rather than the outside, which is interesting. But yeah, you've got moving wheels there. The inside here is all plastic. I'm not sure if there's any metal on here. It's very heavy, this bike. But I'm not certain if there is any metal. I haven't spotted any metal on it, but these are cold to the touch, and the inside of these wheels could be metal, but no, I think they're plastic. I think they are just silver plastic, but the paintwork on the inside of here is very, very nice. If you get this figure new, the foot pegs and the handlebars actually come separately, and they have to be fitted, and that is incredibly fiddly as well. So take extreme care when actually fitting these because they're quite delicate. I'm not sure whether you can see here, but the mechanisms on the handlebars themselves are quite delicate. They're all plastic. The paintwork is very nice. It's there's lots of dry brushing on there. There's a little bit of shading on there. Not too much weathering because as aficionados of Tron will know, everything's exceptionally clean in the Tron world. But yeah, so you have these two handlebars that have to be attached. We'll spin it round so you can take a look at the other side. Now, what I've done, you've got the detailing of the motor here as well, and we'll get to that. This is actually a moving motor, but we'll come to that. The back parts I've actually lifted up here because you have to go through a process of lifting this section first, then this section. Sorry, no, I got that in the wrong order, actually. You have to remove the air brakes first, which you can actually have open if you're wanting to have an action pose of him braking. These two air brakes, there's one on either side. These slide out, and I'm not sure if you can see inside there, but there is actually, the detailing is superb here. Really is exemplary. The pistons themselves have been painted. All the mechanics inside there have been painted, so all the visible detail is there. But yeah, these pull out and slot back. Once you've done that, you lift this section here. Sorry, this section here then pulls back, which is also on pistons as well. They've actually even painted the underside of this, which is really, really nice to see. So that there is actually white paintwork underneath there. Then this section lifts up, and following that, this section lifts up as well, which then gives you access to take the figure off. Now, the figure itself is all that matte black that we discussed before. The suit is very, very screen accurate. There's textures in there. These light strips here, will come to those. They all light up. It wouldn't be a light cycle if it didn't. But yeah, the only articulation is here in the shoulders, which you can use to, as we mentioned before, do the pose of him actually dragging the disc across the floor. So yeah, let's have a look at that head sculpt, the helmeted head sculpt, and absolutely excellent it is too. Really, really good. We'll take it off and get it closer into camera. I have to be very, very careful. I mean, there's one thing about this beat I would say if you do pick it up, pre-owned or brand new, be really, really careful with it because it is exceptionally delicate. And this head sculpt does not want to come off, so I'm going to turn him this way and see if that will. There we go. Oh, and that's right. That's caused a few issues. I am not going to cut here because let me just turn these lights off. It's preempting its party piece there. I would normally edit at that point, but this thing is quite a handful, and redoing this section would mean that we're probably waiting until next Christmas for the rest of this review. Now it seems like it doesn't want to go back on to the turntable for some reason. It stayed there before. There we go. Yeah, this is doing it live and in camera. Where were we? Yeah, okay. The helmeted head sculpt. Let's have a close-up look at this. And it really, really is nice. You've got that high gloss again on the helmet. You've got these, it's all plastic. It pegs on. And also as well, there's a little battery compartment in the back here. Once again, there are 3 light-up functions on this bike and a working motor as well, which we'll come to when we do the showcase section before we go to the detail. But yeah, I'll bring in the other head sculpt so you can see. I mean, I think they've just lifted. They've just lifted the face off that head sculpt and inserted it into the helmet. But yeah, very nice. Excellent paintwork, excellent sculpt, excellent accuracy. It's just all there. It really, really is. Let's see if we can't get this back on camera without the whole thing going south. It is. This turntable really wasn't designed for something of that. And there we go again. The lights have gone on again. Let's just see if we can't get him back on there without any incident or accident. And there he is, back on again. Okay, so where were we? Let's bring him back round. Let's bring back down these moving parts so we can see it all put together. So yeah, once you've got the figure in place, what happens next is you have to put them back in order. So exercise caution here. So the first piece to go back in, I believe, in actual fact, I'm going to take him off the turntable at this point because we're going to have to put a little bit of pressure on this guy. And I am very, very cautious of these pieces. They are delicate, and like I said, exercise caution. Now the first one that needs to go down, that comes up. That one goes into place. Then this one snaps over. That slides in, as I believe. Lower that piece, and then you have to apply some pressure here. And it always worries me having to do this because putting pressure on something this delicate always scares me a little bit. But there you go. You heard the snap as it went into place. And then it's simply a case of moving up and slotting these air brake sections back in on either side. I don't think the other side wants to go in. I think his legs moved ever so slightly, but just bear with me. Yeah. And then the whole lot clips down with that top piece. So there you go. That's how you take him on and off. Something I don't do very often, as you can probably appreciate. Let's just have a quick look at the battery and the light up function before we showcase the whole thing. There are 3 places where you actually put batteries in. The first place, and we'll flip him over so you can see this, and this is probably why it kept switching itself on, is underneath. I'm not sure whether the camera's picking this up, but underneath here you've got a battery compartment that takes 3 AA batteries, and then there's a switch here. Now, setting 1 is to have the lights on the bike. Setting 2 is to have the lights on the bike and the motor turning as well. Then bringing it back round. The second lot of batteries actually go in, and I'll tip this forward so you can see. There we go. Without knocking the foot pegs or the handlebars. Now the batteries that go in this one, I believe, they're button cell batteries, and they are LL1130 batteries. It takes 3 of those in there. Once you've inserted those, it's a case of now there is this is the second disc. This second disc actually acts as a battery compartment holder. Now, doing this on camera is very, very fiddly. I'll see if we can get it to work. It is a case, and it does take some finagling this, because there's a bike point in there. There are 2 pins, and you've got to find the point where it catches. And that doesn't seem to want to work. Okay, bear with me. And talk amongst yourselves while I manage this. And I think we've just about got it there. He said, hopefully. No, that's not worked. Has that worked? No, that's not gone in. Okay. And this really, really, as you can see, it is exceptionally fiddly. Bear with me. And we will get this. We'll get there. It's not wanting to cooperate. I did this earlier, and it went in first time. I think this is the... Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to lean this thing forward a little bit so I can see where the points are. maybe flip this disc round. The disc may be the wrong way around. This is one of the I don't want to say disadvantages. It is a fiddly piece. It is. It's only got a few moving parts on it, but they are exceptionally fiddly. Okay, we're going to cut here. I'm going to cut here and do this off camera. Okay, back again, and after much swearing, much choice language, I've washed my mouth out with soap and water, and I've managed to get the disc on the back. Breathe a sigh of relief. This is why when I display this this piece, I tend not to keep batteries in it, simply because it is an absolute nightmare. Particularly that piece, it absolutely takes forever to get that to go back in place. But yeah. That's the disc battery compartment back on. So I think what we'll do next is we'll let it do its party piece. Might use a bit of music here. Get it onto the turntable. Kill the lights because, as I say, what's a light cycle without light? And we'll let it do its party piece. So let's cut to the lights. Okay, so we brought the lights back up, but we've still left them on the light cycle itself and on the figure. And yeah, what can I say? I absolutely love this figure. Yes, it's fiddly. Yes, it's delicate. Yes, you've got to be ultra careful because there are parts on here that could very easily break. But that being said, I think it's absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. It really is. The style is just incredible. It really, really is. I'm sort of lost for words here, a bit choked on this because it was a grail piece that I was after for years and years and years, and to finally have it. And I still love it to this day, even though it's a long-standing piece in my collection. The batteries, it would be so much better if it was USB compatible, but it isn't, and that's probably because of its age. But with these lights on, they can't really see it in this light, but the body lights up, the whole back of the cycle itself lights up, the wheels, the insides of the wheels as well. These sections on the back light up. The whole thing is just phenomenal. It really, really is. Even down to the insignia on his helmet and the actual display screen at the front there lights up too. Not a big one for light up functions, to be honest with you, but this piece just begs to be lit. It really, really does. So there you have it. That is the Sam Flynn and light cycle from Tron Legacy. We'll pop it over into the Detolf and take a quick look at how it displays under the Detolf lights, but I think really this is probably the best way to view it. So yeah, without further ado, it's over to the Detolf. Okay, so here we are over at the Detolf. Lights off at the Detolf. I just thought before we switch the Detolf lights on, we'd just take another look at this figure lit up, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It just looks incredible. It really, really does. It captures the spirit of the film perfectly. They've reproduced this light cycle in perfect detail. The materials are wonderful. The sculpt is amazing. The paintwork is absolutely phenomenal. That head sculpt is amazing. I just can't say enough good things about this figure. But I would have to. Yeah, I'm afraid it's a 10 out of 10. It is. I suppose I'm a bit biased because it's a grail piece that I've been after for a long time. But yeah, that's him in the Detolf without the lights on. So let's switch the Detolf lights on and see how he displays in a more everyday condition. Okay, so Detolf lights on, but I've left the actual parts that illuminate on the bike itself switched on just because it pleases me, shall we say. But yeah, let's have a quick look round before we wrap this thing up. Otherwise, this could go on all night. So it is so photogenic; it just begs to be photographed and filmed. This whole piece, and although not technically an action figure, that figure is wonderful. The paintwork is amazing. The screen accuracy is phenomenal. The head sculpt wonderful. It just all works. It just all comes together perfectly. And as I say, most certainly, from my perspective anyway, a 10 out of 10. So there you have it. That is the Hot Toys Tron Legacy Light Cycle and Kevin Flynn. Thanks for watching, as always. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss anything. Plenty more content coming up on the channel. What's coming up? Oh, the Godzilla, Bandai Godzilla from Godzilla -1. What else? Boba Voss from Art Figures, that's coming soon. We've got the Dead Strange from Hot Toys, really looking forward to that one. I think that's going to be an absolute corker. And yeah, the Humongous from Mad Max 2, also known as Leader of Marauders. That one's coming in soon. And hopefully before the end of this week as well, we'll be reviewing Mr. W, aka Bruce Wayne from the '89 Batman. So all that's yet to come. So as I say, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's the subscriptions that keep us going. So it's from me, from Kevin Flynn on his light cycle from Tron Legacy. Take care of yourselves and happy collecting.